Hello, this is Nicholas Klazansky, and I'm just going to talk about a haiku that won first place for the Harold G. Henderson Memorial Haiku Award. And the award is sponsored by the Haiku Society of America. It's an annual contest. And I just want to talk about what makes these award-winning haiku. And so the first poem we got Joe McKeon. And so sun-bleached billboard, the gravel road ends at Peaches. The first impression you get is that it's a happy turn of events. You got the sun-bleached billboard. It's a little bit solemn. And it's a Kigo or a seasonal reference for summer. The sun bleached, maybe even late summer, because the sun has been bearing down on the billboard and it's peeling. It's very white and maybe even grayish because it relates to the gravel, color of gravel. So there's a comparison between the color of the sun-bleached billboard and the gravel. And so the advertisement is gone. It's kind of an emptiness, an empty feeling there. And the emptiness is kind of relates to the ends. And you have this kind of surprise at the end, at Peaches. So I think, as my first impression, I would say that the poem is basically saying to me, after all said and done, we get to Peaches, we get beauty, we get all the color, all the beautiful, vibrant color, all the aliveness, and peaches are known to be very succulent, they're very tasty, very juicy, and you have these kind of depressing, gravel road, sun-bleached billboard. They're kind of on the side of, dry. And then you get the succulent peach. So it's a nice comparison. And yeah, there's a lot of things you might not pick up on here. At first, you might just read it and say, okay, interesting image, pleasant, but I don't know what I get from it. And, frankly, when I first look at this haiku, I didn't think that much of it, but the more I look into the words that were chosen and how they relate, compare, contrast, the more, the feeling comes out, and the more I feel that the poem was written really well, and each word is chosen specifically. Let's go to the second place. So we got Brady, from Hawaii. Flute notes, fluttering petals. And this is an interesting case because we got fluttering, which is kind of a pivot line. So it could relate to the first or the third line. So either the flute notes are fluttering or the petals are fluttering. And so that makes for an interesting pivot line there. Kind of lends more to the reader, even though it's only, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4 words, and it lends a lot to the haiku. So the serenity and the beauty of flute notes are being compared, as I think, to petals. Maybe even, falling petals, the fluttering of petals. And it's a very beautiful haiku. You can really see it, flute playing and petals falling, fluttering in the breeze, and it's very delicate, very beautiful. And look how the lines are laid out. the lines are kind of fluttering too, so it's kind of a concrete poem. It's just very simple, right to the point, and very beautiful. I can see why I won. So third place, we got Alan Summers from England. So the reel's trick, a greenfinch moves, it's green around. Now, let me look at reel. I haven't, I forgot what the word reel means. Okay, a small stream. Maybe that's the American in me. I don't. Maybe it's a more British term. Though I have read a lot of British literature, but it escaped me right now. So it's a small stream, the reel's trick. And you got some personification here, but haiku is very flexible. And a lot of times, if we can imagine the trick, because personification is kind of a trick of the mind. So if we can imagine the trick, and if we can see it happening physically, kind of a trick of the eye, then it's believable and it works. So the reel's trick, so the small streams trick, a greenfinch, which is a bird, greenfinch moves, it's green around. So either the greenfinch is in the water, or the reflection of the greenfinch is on the small stream, and the reel is moving its green around with the reflection. And it could also just be physically in the water, and and the water just moving its feathers. And it's very interesting phrase. It's green around. It's a great image, and it's kind of lending to the aesthetic that everything's connected and kind of flowing together. So the greenfinch, yes, it's itself, but it's actually lending itself to the outside, to its environment as well, and everything is connected in some way. And this is one little moment of showing that. So let's see what else we can say about this. We got the short, long, short structure, which is really common in English language haiku. That's because in the original Japanese we have kind of a 3 rhythm structure as well, and we tried to copy that. Of course, Japanese original haiku are in a vertical line, but you can still see the 3-part structure. And what's interesting about these 3 choices is that we have no real punctuation besides the hyphen right here. We have no punctuation making us stop, making us shift, creating a shift. Well, here you see an honorable mention, yeah, ellipses. But it shows a kind of a trend in English language haiku where we try to leave it more open for the reader. We try to have more emphasis on pivot lines. Sometimes people think that punctuation also kind of makes it overly serious or just as unnecessary because it kind of makes things too important and you just want to keep it understated. So yeah, that was a look at 3 awesome haiku. And yeah, look at all those archives. So you can check out all these years of great poetry, and you can even just scroll down like this. So I hope this was interesting. Of course, there's, even though these poems are really small, you can talk about them for a long time. There's actually a lot more to talk about: the sound of it, the choice of words, the rhythm. I didn't talk about everything, but I hope this was a little bit of an eye-opener to see that haiku is not just random things stuck together in a few lines. You know, the myth is usually 3 lines and 575 syllables, which is a myth not only in English language haiku but also in Japanese. There's been free verse haiku for a long, long time in Japanese. So the rules are not strict in haiku. It's more about a feeling. It's more about an aesthetic. So yeah, I hope this was interesting, and please keep watching. Bye bye.